everyone and welcome back to Waverly Reads. Today I'm going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag. We are nearly at the end of June and therefore 6 months have already passed us by. I haven't done as much reading as I would have liked, but we're going to ignore that factor because I've started a new job, I started a new college, a lot of new starts have happened and the year seemed to have just whoosh straight by. It's of silence for the half a year of 2018. I almost said 2016. That's because the last time I filmed this tag it was 2016. I wanted to do it every year but I missed it last year so it just didn't happen. We're gonna dive in. There are 15 questions and let's do this. Question number 1 is the best book you've read in 2018. This one I went with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I have a full spoiler-free review of this up on my channel if you want to go check that out. I will leave it in the i-bar and in the description bar down below if you want to check it out. The second question is the best sequel you've read in 2018. I actually own this book. It's Tears but Beautiful Oblivion by Jamie Maguire. This is the first book in the Maddox Brothers series, but it's kind of like a sequel series to the Beautiful series, if that makes sense. So it is a sequel but it's not, it's its own first series book. I don't know. Question number 3. A new release you haven't read yet but want to. For this I went with The Fates Divide by Veronica Roth. Anyone who knows me will know that I'm obsessed with Veronica Roth, like she's one of my favourite authors, and this book is signed by her. I know I've mentioned that every time I picked up this book but I just still can't believe it. Yeah, I really want to read this before the end of the year. I plan to sometime over the next couple months. The fourth question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I actually haven't looked into any new releases that are coming out this year. Went onto Goodreads, I typed in a random month with 2018 on the end and went down the releases and I found a Hamilton themed book. It's called Eliza Hamilton, The Extraordinary Life and Times of the Wife of Alexander Hamilton. It's a tongue there, especially for someone with a stutter. It sounds like it's a story about Eliza and how, like, what she went through and everything, and I'm like, yeah. Saying that I probably won't, but I want to. It comes out in September. The fifth question is your biggest disappointment. For this I went with Red Sparrow by Jason Matthews. I kind of brought this because hello, there's a movie of it with Jennifer Lawrence in it and it's amazing, but I have this thing where I have to read the book first and I found out it was a book, and also it's got Jennifer Lawrence on the cover so it made me want to buy it. Tried reading it, did not like it in the slightest. Found myself just dragging my way through it, but I did it and I read it, but it was just a big disappointment. Number 6 is your biggest surprise. For this I went with Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zapier. I actually really love this book and I did a review on this one as well. I'll leave it in the i-bar and also in the description down below. Didn't expect to enjoy this because it's a really light-hearted and fluffy contemporary, but it has a sci-fi aspect to it and I did actually really enjoy it, so this was definitely my biggest surprise. Number 7 is your favourite new author, either debut or new to you. I chose Becky Albertalli, specifically Simon vs. Homo Sapiens and Gender. I only gave this a 3.5 stars I believe, but it's still got stickers on it. Really enjoyed it and I really liked the way Becky wrote and I want to read some more of her writing. I don't think this was her debut novel, but this is the first novel I've ever read by her. I liked it, so I want to read some more of her, so she's my favourite new author I think. Number 8 is your newest fictional crush. For this one I went with Jest from Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Jest is the love interest in Heartless and he was so cute and so and really liked him and made my heart warm. I was gonna say Adam from Unravel Me and Shatter Me, but I'd read Shatter Me and then I'd read this and then I'd read Unravel Me and I liked Adam in Shatter Me, so he's not my newest fictional crush. It's the worst shelf to get books off because I just have so much on it. I should probably move them around a bit. Number 9 is your newest favourite character. This one I went with Kenji Kashimoto from Unravel Me. He is in Shatter Me but only a tiny bit and you don't really get to know him in that one, but you really get to know him in this one and he's so sassy and witty and lovely and I love him. So he's one of my newest favourite characters. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. This one I went with a bit of a reread and it's The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I love this book and I will never not cry at a bit that happens in the end of this book. I love this book so much and I'm so invested to all of the characters, and this was a reread and I still cried, so I definitely had to pick this one. 11 is a book that made you happy. This one I went with They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Just realised how bad that sounds, they both die at the end, and it made me happy, but there was just so much like fun things happening in this book and it was so cute and lovely and wonderful and it made me really happy up until the end, and then I got really sad But that's a different story. This book still made me really, really happy. 12 is the favourite book to film adaptation you've seen this year. This one I went with The Hunger Games by Susan Collins. I haven't watched any new releases, new movies. I haven't watched anything that's new to me that was a book. So I just copped out and went with The Hunger Games because it's one of my favourite movies. I really loved it, so obviously it's going to be my favourite. 13 is the favourite review you've filmed this year. Now I've just put this book back. I'm not getting it back out, but I have to go with They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I'll leave it in the iCard and in the description bar down below. 14 is the most beautiful book you've brought this year. And I don't have it with me because it's at Tia's, but it is mine, I promise. She's just borrowing it and has been for the past 4 months. Ish. Just gonna grab the sequel, which is also gorgeous, and that is Unravel Me. I personally prefer the Shatter Me cover, but obviously I can't show you it because Tia's still borrowing it. Dude, I want my book back. But Shatter Me is definitely one of the most beautiful books I've read this year. I wanted to go with Red Sparrow. It's kind of a cop-out because it has Jennifer Lawrence on the cover, and Jennifer Lawrence is my babe and everything to me, so that was a cop-out. And the last question is, what books do you want to read by the end of the year? I have 5 which are on my immediate TBR. I had this immediate TBR with 20 books on it, and I've read 15 of those books so far, and I have 5 more that I want to read, but I'm thinking at least 2 of them I won't. Haunted by Megan Spooner, Fates Divide by Veronica Roth, Air by Kiera Cass, Player One by Ernest Cline. The last one, which I don't actually have, is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I don't think I'm going to get to Ready Player One because I'm just not feeling it at the minute, and I don't think I'm going to get to Turtles All the Way Down because I don't currently have it and I don't feel like the need to buy it to read it, so they're probably not going to get read by the end of this year. That is all for my mid-year freak out tag. If you have done this tag, then please leave a link to it in the comment section because I love watching these. I love seeing like people's favourites and not so favourites, least favourites and stuff like that. But if you haven't done this tag, then I'm tagging you now. I also want to tag My Novel Treasures. I know you've recently took a hiatus from Booktube, but I saw you uploaded a video not too long ago, and I'm hoping that maybe you will do this tag as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I post a new weekly reading vlog on a Monday and a new Booktube video on a Thursday. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye!